Remember when games used to be complete at launch? When you unlocked in-game content by playing the game? When microtransactions were... Yeah, it's been a fat minute. The gaming industry is getting worse. And even though a lot of features have improved in a plethora of ways, the bar for quality has been lost. The lack of creativity, passion, and innovation in content we are receiving is just insane. But in situations like this, who can we blame? Greedy CEOs? Major corporations? Taxes? Though they are not innocent, they are also not fully at fault here either. End of the day, the only people we can blame are you and me. We are the reason why scummy predator sales tactics keep coming, because we fall for them, because we shill out our hard-earned dollars multiplied by the thousands, hundreds of thousands, by the millions. I hate to admit it, but we let it get this far. And with the recent news of the Nintendo Switch 2, its accessories, and Mario Kart World being priced much higher than what we're used to, I felt the need to talk about it. Bear in mind though, this push for higher prices in gaming has been happening for a long time already. Not because of inflation, but because we feel the greed of what's possible. Before I talk about the gaming aspect of all this, let me just give a quick lesson about what they teach in salesmanship, okay? You might already know this, but in case you don't, here it is. To put it very simply, they teach some form of this structure. It is the structure of upsell, value, price decrease, and discount. Or something similar variation of this, right? Upsell is the best option for a seller, the worst option for the consumer. Typically, the first option a seller goes with for the purpose of two objectives. Make the most amount of money possible, but also set the precedent for how the transaction is going to go. Then it's value. Just selling the value of the product at the same base price a seller wants to go with. If that won't work, we follow with a price drop. Relatively the same service/product, but at a slightly lower rate. Finally, if all else fails, it's the discount. A considerably lower rate, possibly sacrificing part of the service or a product, but still good enough to make a sale and make the consumer happy, but also make some profit. Here's the thing, they teach you that the upsell is something you should expect a no in. Why? Because typically the upsell should be something that is beyond what the consumer wants or is over what they are willing to spend. There should still be value in there, and it should be a realistic upsell. You're not gonna try to sell one car for the price of 20 cars, because that's just insulting. Here's the other thing. If your consumer says yes to your upsell, even though you were expecting a no, you messed up, buddy. Do you know why? Because in the world of sales, it means you probably could have gone higher, made more money. Now, how does this relate to you, me, and video games? Because we kept saying yes to the upsell. We showed corporations that, why yes, my good man, I am willing to pay $2.50 for horse armor, $14.99 for a Call of Duty DLC map pack, Air Jordan 11s at $10 for my Godzilla skin, which I got in my battle pass that already cost me $10 as well. The color basic blue for my Spartan at $15. Nicki Minaj in my military shooter at $24. Cringe campaign expansions at $49.99 fucking dollars. $40 more on top of the $60 I already paid to play an unfinished Battlefield a couple days earlier. Or a Suicide Squad, an always online game, also for a couple days earlier when the servers aren't even working. We kept doing it, man. We kept saying yes, and yes, and yes. Just raising the ceiling more and more. And now look at us. We're getting Mario Kart World at $80, possibly $90, depends on which version you get. and game cartridges that don't even actually have the game inside. It was a subtle and slow death for quality and ingenuity in gaming. Over time, we spent more and more. We thought it was harmless, but now look where we are. We kept saying stuff like, it's only X amount of dollars, why not? It's free to play. I didn't pay for the game after all, why not? Put in a little 20. And unfortunately, this is the state of gaming currently. To avoid this being totally depressing, let's take a look at some positive outlooks, right? Games can be fixed and supported post-launch, adding content that fuels the fire to keep the games you love fun without needing to wait for an entirely new sequel, a sequel you might not have clicked with. And often, this content is added for free. Hell, even certain games that were dead on arrival got a second win and became what they were meant to be. Should No Man's Sky been good since launch? Absolutely, but hey, better late than never, right? Crossplay is another pro of modern gaming. Where there were walls before dividing us from our brothers on the other side, it's a lot easier to connect with friends or make new ones between PC and console. I can't even lie, sometimes microtransactions really do be worth it, man. You're telling me I can play John Wick in Fortnite while my best friend can be his favorite comic book hero, Spider-Man? Dude, they let you play as Master Chief in Fortnite before Halo Infinite did. I get it, bro. Trust me. I guess it's human nature, right? Wanting to express yourself, whether it's in real life or digitally. And again, if microtransactions were actually micro, it would be more reasonable. But no. The moment companies knew they could get us to spend more and more money, even after the initial purchase, it was over. Make my gun look cooler and shoot brighter bullets? Thank you. Here's my $20, Activision Blizzard. Make my shoulder dragon heads in my first-person shooter, but lock it behind a $34 bundle because selling the shoulders alone is just illogical? Where do I swipe, 343? Can I play my game 3 days early? 50-50 chance my game actually works and the servers are always online? Yeah, Warner Bros. Here's my social security card, man. Fuck it, just take it. Quick reminder. Back in Black Ops 4, when they introduced battle passes later into the game's life cycle, they were always free. Why? Because why would you be charged more for a game you already dropped 60 buckaroos in? Let's not get greedy here now, guys, and charge the player even more for in-game cosmetics that have to be unlocked, but once they disappear, the chance to acquire them is gone forever. But hey, wait a minute. What if we did charge them, though? All of this because we said yes to the upsell over and over again. We used to spend money on content, on substance, on value. Competition between games was high, but innovation was key to be successful. Companies used to ask, how can we make our game better than others? Now with the heavy focus on monetization, live service models, and cosmetics, companies ask, how can our game make more money than others? It's just psychological and predatory sales tactics that lead to financial gain, and it hurts to watch, man, because I love this industry. I want it to thrive. I love video games. I don't want to see another steaming pile of crap release from my beloved company that used to pop out bangers. I don't want to see more layoffs of game devs because their hard work was squandered by moronic decisions made by leadership who are disconnected from the process of game development. But I also don't want to pay $90 for every single new game or play a game that's missing half of its content at launch, even though its predecessor came out feature complete in half the time. So what can we do? Is there a viable solution to all this? Or is the video game bubble doomed to burst? I genuinely believe we can fix it. Just as the fault lies with us, so too does the solution. And here it is. We need to be better consumers. The only reason why these anti-consumer practices continue is because we keep spending money. Things only keep going because people keep spending. Cigarettes cause cancer. They tell you that at the door of any place that sells them. OnlyFans models get bombarded with comments, slut-shaming them by middle-aged white dudes with the most abysmal follower-to-following ratio.
That's a little gay. Hold on.
But the models keep posting. Why? Because people keep paying. Plain and simple. If we give our money, then there's no reason for corporations to change. So let's do something about it. For starters, Stop pre-ordering games. Why are we giving money blindly to corporations for a product but we have no real guarantees about? Even playing games at launch is something we should be more cautious about. Wait a week or 3, odds are it's not feature complete, and it's just going to frustrate you and waste your time. After other people make their reports and the reviews, decide for yourself if it's worth it. Your money and time is precious. Don't waste it on a mediocre experience. Another solution, the best choice in my opinion, play more older games, whether they're retro games from way back when or games from within the last 10 years. How many gems came out in 2017? How many of those gems did you play? Why do you need to buy Assassin's Creed Shadows when Ghost of Tsushima has been out and you haven't played it? I better not catch nobody complaining about the next annual COD slot we get when you can literally go back 1 to 2 years and find some spectacular games at a cheaper base price or even on sale, both single player or multiplayer games. Dude, even the classics, man. Older games may have some jank behind them or lesser quality when it comes to visuals, but they're still better than the slop we often get now. Especially now with remakes and remasters already existing and a lot of older titles getting FPS boosted on both console and PC. Not to mention, some art styles feel timeless. Strong art style trumps ultra high definition anytime for me. Personal recommendations from me to get you started would be Fallout New Vegas, Dark Souls, Half-Life, Psychonauts, 3D Mario games, Doom, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Halo by Bungie, Deep Rock Galactic, Resident Evil, Portal, Left 4 Dead, Red Dead, Breath of the Wild, Hades, Hollow Knight, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, Celeste, goddamn! Tip of the iceberg, bro. Point is, go back a little, or a lot. You have the power of hindsight on these products, so you get to pick and choose. Maybe you want to play an entire franchise. Maybe you only want to play one. Put your money into something that will give you a good time. By the way, there is nothing inherently wrong with buying new games. Wanting to be dripped out, even if it's an FPS. I get it. This is much smarter than Halo Infinite. But at the same time, have some self-worth, my guy. A lot of these companies do not deserve your hard-earned cash. Your family's hard-earned cash. Make sure that if you want a new game, it's either a game company that you trust that I won't miss, or just wait a little longer. Let others test out the waters to see if it's worth it. And well, if you're really going to drop $20 on a cosmetic, you should go rub one out. Make sure you're not just being a corn dog. But anyway, rant over. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I wrong for thinking like this? Or if you agree, what are some video game recommendations you have for me and others? Possible gems that not enough people know about. End of the day, it's your choice to make, but please, if we want this industry to get better, we have to think with our wallets. That's where it starts, and that's where it ends. If innovation and passion makes less money than psychological manipulation, then video game companies have an easy choice to make. Main video over, but I do want to say a few more things, and I want to get off my chest, right? They charged $49.99 for Lightfall at launch, man, and they couldn't even be bothered to make a drop pod cutscene. Dude, Bungie made one over a decade ago for Halo 3 ODST. How are you gonna just... It's a black, man, that's crazy. Then there's FIFA, letting people use real money to buy better players. The definition of play to win. And finally, the biggest kicker to me, Ubisoft lets you pay to get XP, aka time savers, so you can finish the game faster. In other words, play the game less. I couldn't believe it. Gamers were paying more money to spend less time on the thing they paid money to put their time in. Unbelievable. But hey, shout out to Helldivers 2 for having good monetization in their game. Their microtransactions actually being micro and allowing you to grind premium currency by just playing the game is just a must-have in my opinion.